This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's Monday edition of the Pitstop, where you, the pit crew, you guys and girls, are the real star of today's show and the show every day. Thank you for being here. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. It was a great weekend for me. You had the Daytona 24-hour Rolex 24, which went on, and we could talk all day about that, but it is a sim racing channel. I guess we always talk about racing in real life. Congratulations to Alonso. A little bit of question as to whether and how they should handle such things. You know, if you guys have thoughts on that, you can chime them in. Don't want to get into too many arguments about it, but certainly something that was the backbone of many of our weekends, even if you were doing other things. I mean, I worked all weekend long. I had different projects going on, we did interviews, we did live streams, we had the patron race, so many things going on this weekend. So the whole time, the race was in the background, but I really couldn't put all of my attention into it. So that was too bad for me, but I did get to see enough of it to just get into that racing mood. You know, when racing season for real kicks off, we have just a few months off. You know, it's one of the longer seasons of the year in the sporting world. But those few months off change things. You know, it's usually in the winter. Well, not usually. It's in the winter. It's when it's dark. It's when we don't get to do as much because the days are short. Maybe our sim racing takes a hit. Maybe it's cold outside. You just aren't motivated. But racing season's here with Daytona, the Rolex 24. For me, this is when you start seeing racing. It's not quite every weekend just yet, but within the next few weeks, we're going to get to that point where racing is every weekend, and that keeps us motivated. You know, the thing about it is, even though I ran the 24-hour race a week ago, watching that race made me want to turn laps at Daytona once again. So that's what I love, is the way real-life racing always motivates us to do our sim racing. And sometimes it's just to experience what they just went through. Maybe you watch the F1 race and you're like, you know, I want to know what it's like to drive an F1 car at Monza, so let's fire it up and do it. Anyway, it was a cool race, good weekend, and again, I hope all of you had a good weekend. So if there's one thing, let's get to the news, and part of the news, I think, if you've known me or followed me for 10 years of doing online content for sim racing, one thing you might know about me is that I do, in fact, butcher names. I am just known for ruining names of people, companies, products, all sorts of things. I am just terrible with names in some cases and times. So today I get something in my defense, and there must have been something going on in the Twitterverse that I was unaware of. This whole have you guys seen those? Because I saw a few of them. I'm going to show a couple of them, but the first one I'm only showing you because it totally defends me. Forever, I've called Forza, and I've had people give me a hard time about that over the years, acting like this is one of those moments where Sean is once again butchering a word or name. And in this case, well, I gotta tell you, Forza. We really need everyone to know it's pronounced Forza. So anyway, there you go. That's all. That's my whole news from Forza, just Sean. And again, why I was saying it's all over, iRacing did one. We really, I didn't know this was a thing. I just saw a couple of them, and it made me think, wow, I'm kind of out of touch. I don't know this whole we really can't wait. We really want people to know. Anyway, in addition to that, you do have the calendar for this week at Forza, their streams and all the things going on over there. So if anybody wants to know more, you can check that out at the Forza Horizon 4 or the Forza Motorsport Twitter page. Either one will work. iRacing, I didn't really have any news here either. It was just that they also were on that whole really thing. What else? Codemasters, there's a video here. This is from John Armstrong. This is how to approach a rally. This actually came out last week, but Billy and I had so much to talk about on Friday's show. Almost butchered Friday's show that we didn't cover it, but just so you know, there was a video that came out by Codemasters, another promo video to kind of getting you psyched for Dirt Rally 2.0. Approaching a Rally is the video, and you'll find that on, I'm assuming, YouTube, but you can definitely find it at the Codemasters page, and for some reason, my links aren't working today once again. Actually, that might not even be an actual link. They did do a media event at a rally school, it looks like. This was the Phil something rally school. Where was it? I remember seeing it somewhere. Let's see. Phil Price Rally School in Wales is where this media event went on. How many rallies? I didn't count. Stuart pronounces it rubbish arcade game interesting. Get beat up for such thoughts. That's like, you can't, never mind. Project Cars has another Yorkie guide. Now we're kind of getting to the point, you know, in the beginning I was promoting, and if he keeps up on this plan, or path, I don't think we're going to keep talking about the Yorkie guides, because usually they're telling you things that I should be telling you on the show. How to do this, how to do that, how to think, how to do, you know, and now he's just down to in-game action, but, so that could be the end of the Yorkie guide coverage here on my show, because I'm only doing it when it's there to provide, excuse me, when it's there to provide something for you. What else? That's all we have from Project Cars. Okay, so on Friday, me and Billy did talk about the M6 liveries that were going to be coming. We talked about the partnership, the ADAC GT Masters and Raceroom, and this whole thing continuing for another year. That's great. One of the things we also focus about when we talk about esports are the things that continue or recur, because that is at least some signs of success. When they happen once and you never see or hear from it again, it means that it just didn't go over that well, probably. In the case of something that returns for another season, it's a great sign of growth. It's a great sign of the goal of the people putting money in, their goals being made. So anyway, they also they talked about, and this was the M6 liveries. Now they're kind of showing off the fact that in addition to that, they're going to have Audi Sport liveries as well. So you get some shots of those, some beautiful looking cars, great looking render. I love that picture. I would print that poster and put it on my wall right there. That's a beauty. So some cool liveries coming out of them to be part of this next phase of the ADAC GT Master Series, which is very, very good. Good morning, Devin. Good morning, everybody here in the show. Here's some of the AMG. Man, I love this car. I really love that Mercedes. You know, it's such a muscle car design and a modern shape, and you know, and not to take anything away from the Camaros and the Challengers and all those retro American cars, they're beauties too, but they're like almost identical to the old ones in a weird way, versus this is just like a totally modern muscle car. I love that AMG. Anyway, okay, so what else do we have? What else do we have going on? I see a lot of chatter about WRC and Dirt Rally 2 and speculation as to, you know, but at least we have that much dirt action going on this year. At least we have that much rally car stuff going on this year. That's great. I mean, that's been a underappreciated part of sim racing for a long time, since Richard Burns Rally, and you know, you could argue that it's not getting the love of a Richard Burns Rally because the modern rally or dirt games maybe aren't as hardcore as Richard Burns Rally. However, it is really nice to see a good variety of dirt. You could even bring Dakar into the mix. In fact, that's our next story. They're talking about Dakar. Okay, so this I'm a little unclear about, and it's Dakar, so I'm like, you know what? Is it really even worth my time? Anyway, a couple of things. We know the winners of the Dakar 2019 because it happened and they already did it. And prepare to face them on Dakar 19. So obviously you can see they're taking the modern stars and putting them at the top, and who you'll be dealing and interacting with in the game or racing against. The AMG is Viper-esque. You're right, Billy. It is very much like a Viper. They're like giant Datsun 240Zs. Codemasters is dead to you, says David Payne. David, bring on the pain. Yes, Heiko, last time we did ask how ADAC was ADAC. So it's not ADAC, it's ADAC. So that's what, an acronym? Help me out. I have heard Dave Blair mentioning that the Simpit racing series on SRS in Raceroom has been very good. I know it's been very European dominated. The Americans are having a hard time getting up in the leaderboard. We're going to have to step things up on that, huh? All right, what else? Dakar sucks. Thank you, Edgar. Anyway, they're talking about this, and I don't even know if this is something being added to the other game available. January 31st, 2019. It's still being branded to Dakar 18. So is this a new stage being added to it? I don't even know. But as Edgar said, Dakar sucks. So who cares? No, if you're into Dakar, though, that's stuff that you need to know. ADAC. ADAC. There you go. AC/DC. Thank you, Mitchie. Billy, earmuffs. Heat 3, 704 NASCAR Games Heat. Anyway, today's last day. If you were one of those top 50 drivers, I told you a week ago or so that you were going to get an email. 2 weeks ago. Told you a week ago that you should have gotten your email. And at this point, today is the deadline to get your draft form submitted. Top 50 drivers on the PS4 and Xbox One. So this whole thing is getting going. I mean, we're kicking this off very quickly. This is going to be one of the big, gonna be one of the big eSport series to follow. You can say what you want about NASCAR Heat. I don't even want to get into that right now. What I'm looking at is the exposure, the money, and the possibility that more sim racers are going to make a living from sim racing. That's what I'm excited about. Something else I'm very excited about, and I have been really watching, I mean literally every single day I'm watching to find out, is there a pulse? Is there a heartbeat? Is there life? Is there blood pressure? Is there momentum coming from the camp at Live for Speed? What do you know? Our January graphics progress report featuring the West Hill track. LFS report 2019. Found this at their Twitter page. This is great news. Man, I am so excited. Michael Clark! Look at that! Oh, let's get in on the donate. Wait. There it goes. Thank you, Michael Clark. You rock, my friend. Happy Monday to you, buddy. Anyway, but yes, we do have life out of Live for Speed. They have another graphics report. So, Victor Van Vlartigan, Scowen Roberts, and crew are back at it. I don't know if those are all the people involved. I know Scowen was the head guy. I can't imagine he's gone. This was posted by Victor. Victor, if you remember from a long time ago, maybe 9 years ago, I interviewed Victor and talked to him about audio and the way they did everything in Live for Speed. But this could be great news, and I'm really looking forward. We're going to have to reach out to the Live for Speed people. It'd be great to talk to them and see, is there a timeline? What can we expect from them? What is coming? But that would be really cool. Billy and I did mention this on Friday, but I'm going to mention it here on Monday. Maybe you had a bad weekend and you didn't want to go to work today because it's Monday. Well, maybe you should be working in this industry. Maybe you should do R&D, marketing, or support department, work in the support department for Fnatic. But Fnatic is hiring. If you recommend somebody and they get hired, that person is going to actually get themselves a podium wheelbase DD1. So just go to the Twitter page for Twitter if you're interested. If you do register, you can certainly say that I referred you if you want. I'll take a free DD1. Maybe we'll give it away on the show. Who knows? But feel free to use my name as the recommendation, since I am telling you right now, if you are sitting at work and you're like, why am I here? If you're having to go to work and thinking, I just don't want to go, maybe it's the job. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to ruin your day. I'm not trying to give you something to dwell on, but you could work for Fnatic. Probably help if you're in Germany, by the way, for certain positions. I did, win. I can give him my email and win. Should we do this? Should we do it? Sean at thesimpit.com. Sure, try my luck. Wait, can I win one? Free t-shirt, sorry, 15% off, 10%. It doesn't say free. F it, let's do it. It's spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning. No, I can get 10% off if I want. All right, well, there you go. Anyway, we did talk about this a while ago, but I think we were talking about it sort of like it was something coming, not something that was here. So this is the Bortzworks is the first environmental simulator for PC gaming that creates wind and heat effects in real time. I didn't know it had heat. I don't need heat here. I need cold air, to be honest with you. Excuse me. Demonetized again. What do you know? Yeah, the MXer says LFS is like 20 years old, and they even have VR support. So true, so true. Come on, Cody's, get with the times. No VR, no buy, right? That's what a lot of people are saying. Not everybody, but a lot of people are saying it. So get with it. Get with it. That's fair. Anyway, the Vorts, $120. Not sure what kind of... I'm going to have to talk to them. now that they're going to send me an email, maybe I can contact them back. Maybe we'll get one of these on the show and see what we think. Wind simulators. That would be very cool if you're doing like a karting game. That would be very cool if you were doing like an open-wheeled game. Yeah, does it dry your hair? No, unfortunately, it dries out your eyes is the problem. But for VR people, that would be very cool. Because in VR, you kind of do get a sensation of having a helmet. So you'd actually feel the way it wasn't going in your eyes, but it was going around your eyes. I've used various different wind simulators. So this isn't the first, as they're calling it. Maybe the first commercially available in a nice package like that, not so much of a DIY project. So, gotta like that, and 120 bucks is pretty reasonable. Have no idea what kind of velocity. I mean, it's got to be enough velocity that you're gonna know it. See, RF, that is my dream. I mean, I often talk about the game Ready Player One, and, you know, between VR... there's VR smell coming, or at least being worked on. And, you know, we already have tactile feedback devices. And, you know, this thing's pumping, you know, in my mind, with today's tech right now, I could build a suit or a pod. I mean, anybody in racing knows what a cool suit is. You have a water pump, you have a tank of cold iced water, and you have all of these pipes, well, they're little rubber tubes, running through your suit so that when you are in a hot car during a race, you turn that on and it's pumping cold water. Same thing could be done with hot water. So right now, and tactile suits, we've seen the vests, we've seen chairs, we've seen butt kickers. All the tech is there. It's just a matter of, like, you know, software can drive one transducer, but the moment you've opened the door and you can control 2, 3, or 4 transducers, technically, you're just layers away from controlling 1,000 transducers. It's just a matter of wiring and programming. But the tech is here. The tech is here for hot, cold suits. The tech is here for wind. The tech is here. I mean, any transducer could be given to the point of even pain where you'd actually feel it or have that impact. So it's all here. We're just waiting on it to be kind of put together. Here's one step, the Vortex. You know, the other step is butt kickers and sim vibe. The other steps are force feedback. Just think about it. It's all really just layers of force feedback. No different than your steering wheel. You want to get into a haptic suit? It's no different than your steering wheel. It's just signals being sent from the computer program to the sim or the game, and having a reaction on the real world side of things. Anyway, great idea. We'll try to get one here on the show and test it out, but good food for thought. You know, when it comes to big, long races, I certainly focus a lot of my attention on iRacing. Anyway, the long weekend of IMSA and WEC is coming. Both series take on challenges of Sebring, with WEC doing 1,000 kilometers and IMSA doing 12 hours. Before we host our 12 hours of Sebring, we are now hosting a mini endurance race with our GT3 packs. Top 3 teams after the 3 hours of racing will receive a special invite to their special 12-hour event on March 2nd. So here's some details here. This is in the forums for R Factor 2. So, all you guys who love sim racing, maybe you're not one of those top teams, but you want to earn your way into the big race in the R Factor world of things. Well, here's your opportunity. So February 8th, you're going to have a 3-hour race, and this could be a way to race your way into the big event, and that'll be good. For age, I do not have any hardline firm news on Feel VR. The one thing I can tell you is that for a long time, we've speculated that they wouldn't make those dates, and that's not a pointing a finger at them. It's just that a lot of companies don't make their dates, especially on their first attempt. Production's tricky. You never know. There's so many different factors, but no hardline word on when that's going to be available. We can check in with them. Yeah, and I've used Heiko. SimHub does various different things like that. I've actually used various different. I mean, when, you know, if you think about it, there's no difference between a signal being sent telling it to give you a shift light or a gear indicator or any kind of that output. At the same time, all I have to do is tell it to spin an electric motor. My problem, you want to know, I've used wind simulators. I can tell you right now, they're really good on acceleration. Going from a dead stop up to speed, you do get a sensation. However, under braking, cars stop so fast that wind would stop blowing almost instantaneously. The wind simulators, you know, these electric motors, they don't have a brake on them. So as soon as it cuts the signal, if it's at full velocity, it takes it quite a while to slow down, in my opinion. Anyway, check out that event. That could be great for a lot of you guys who take your endurance racing seriously. Maybe want to form a mini team and go after the R Factor 2. PC Gamer talking about Steam's Lunar New Year's sale will run from February 4th to 11th. So it's time to start saving up some nickels, putting them in the piggy bank, and getting ready to buy some software. I'll have to buy a few games during their sale just to fill up my library, as if I don't have enough games, but it could be a good time to pick up not only a sim title that you thought about but didn't buy, but maybe something that isn't even racing related. But gotta know, mark it in your calendars. February 4th through 11th, we have the Steam Lunar New Year sale. VVV, I don't talk about them much, but they do confirm. So no VR, no buy. But the confirmation coming from Clyoton confirms that there are no plans for WRC 8 to support VR. I think that's a real shame. I think that's a crying shame, to be honest with you. So, let's see. What else do we have to talk about? You know, a little article here at Sim Racers ES talking about more data from VRS regarding their Direct Force Pro steering wheel. So most of you know VRS, Virtual Racing School, known more as a team, a setup shop, a racing school coaching. They announced they were getting into the hardware market. We speculated it'd be like gloves or shoes or things like that. And in the end, no, they're going right into the main component. And they're going to be building a 20 Newton meter Midge engine and trying to get it out the door for less than $1,000. So with a high quality controller. So that could be good news, and we'll keep our eye on that as well. I'll have to kiloton. Cool looking steering wheel here. This is at Sim Race Hardware News and Blogs. I just like seeing cool hardware, and this certainly is cool. This is from Cube Controls, and this is the Formula CSX wheel. Talk about inputs and outputs. I don't know, is there room to put any more on that wheel? If you have that wheel and you have a button box, my question to you would be, why do you have a button box? No. Anyway, beautiful looking wheel. Comes in a few. Ooh, I love that blue anodized. It's got 4 paddles on the back, so you're talking about clutch levers. In addition to shift paddles, some really cool looking, very authentic looking rotary dials. Those are beautiful looking dials. So there you go. What else we have? Oh, Wreckfest. This is just an article here. I can't read how to shut this. Wreckfest development is in full swing. So going on to say the Wreckfest team is back with the first update in 2019 and information about the state of the regarding and console implementations. That's what I've heard they've been working on more than anything, is the console implementation more than bringing us some features we want. I want VR. I want replay. And as much as it might hurt, I want telemetry so it can run motion. That's what I want out of them. Other than that, man, they got a solid game. They have a really solid game. If you don't play Wreckfest with us, that's enough reason. I don't talk about my patron program, the Simpit patron support program. Guys who've joined our team, we do a lot of fun things, and one of the best is we play Wreckfest almost every week. It's such a blast. If you want to do that, check out our patron program at patron.com/thesimpit. Congratulations are in order. Just yesterday, I did a interview with the whole avid, chronic, map-free eSport racing team. And so congratulations. Just a little graphic here sent over to me by Mitchie. But there's our shot of Risto Coppet in P1 and Adam Pinces in P9 in the karting event that went on there. And in addition to that, FSR is starting to heat up with things. FSR is hands down one of the top R Factor leagues, and at this point, I'm waiting for the official transition to eSport. We talk about things that are sacred, 10-year, dynasties that'll be swept under the rug if they don't get current. Love to see FSR step things up and be kind of considered and put into the eSport world. They certainly deserve it. But speaking of deserving, or congratulations, Oh, we're going to ruin your name. I am so sorry right now. Yernej Simonchik finishing first in race 1 and second in race 2. And Mitchie Hoyer, I bet you're a little disappointed with P5 and P3. I think you're the kind of guy who, if you don't win, you're not very happy with yourself. So go get him next time, Mitchie. Anyway, congratulations to Avid Chronic Racing, Zach Speed, for representing, being one of the top teams in sim racing right now. A couple of cool rig setups to check out here. When they get sent in, I got to show them to you because it maybe motivates you or maybe makes you feel better about your rig. But this comes from YD58NGX on Reddit. And you can see a side-by-side, a Deathmobile next to a pull-up to a desk kind of rig. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's a Playseat Challenge. Not bad. That's not a bad setup for being able to take that one on the right and throw it in the closet. And then at the same time, you got a very sturdy-looking Deathmobile. Look at that. Unpainted Deathmobile. Raw. I don't have time to paint it. It's time to race. What else? What else do we have? Here's just a Playseat. You know, this almost looks like one of the setups from the eSport competition. It's the full Red Bull branded Playseat. Anyway, I thought this was a good-looking setup as far as Playseats go. You can see he's got a full Thrustmaster handbrake and shifter combination, Club Sport wheel, the biggest gear indicator that I have ever seen in my life, and one of those giant, that looks like one of those giant 49-inch screens, curved screens. This is by Nike 8 on Reddit. And what else do we have to talk about today? Just a couple more little things to mention. Here's a nice looking setup. This is just clean. I like this in terms of, if you got to sell your wife or girlfriend on having a sim rig in the house, you know, just dedicate, can I just have a little room for my sim rig? Well, you better make it look good. So you can see he's got a good looking setup here. He's got the full Fnatic gear on a R-Seat RS1 chassis. Couple of cool, those almost look like RCs more than die-cast based on their size. Some cool looking models there. And my only complaint is he's a little far from the TV, you might say, but I can see a HTC Vive sitting there on the fold-up table. So nice looking setup from TX Free Faller. And this is in the Reddit's iRacing section. Alright, so I'm always asking you guys, do you use socks? Do you use shoes? What do you use on your feet when it comes to racing? Well, I think we now have the most pathetic. This was from Tofi. Tofi, are these your feet, Tofi? That is that is pathetic on so many levels. I hope if somebody came over and kicked their shoes off and thought they were putting those dogs on my pedals, no way, get that out of here. Anyway, I thought that was funny. That actually showed up in our Discord channel today, talking about sim racing shoes. And what if one of the eSport guys, you know, you pull up to your rig, you're on the cameras, lights, actions, you pull up to your rig, and then you kick off your shoes, and that's what's underneath. Warn them out. I warn them out racing. And this has nothing to do with sim racing. This is my final topic of the day, other than just kind of warnings to the patron group. Warnings of things to come. We talked about the W Series. This is going to be a racing series that focused on getting some of the female stars from all over the world, and giving them an opportunity to really have a place to race and, more importantly, get some exposure. Well, this has kicked off. So they announced, and now there's a webpage, wseries.com. I know we have a few ladies in our audience and a few sim racers out there, female sim racers out there. I think it's really important that eSport gets some female growth and some female, you never know, female influence might even help the games, because maybe they'll have a different attitude or mindset or bring up different things. But it is time. It is time that we embrace women into eSport and into racing in general. So my hat's off to, and by the reaction of the thumbnail of today's show, this is actually the whole group of ladies who are part of the W Series. These are the qualifiers for the W Series 2019. Some very, very good racers in here, and we've talked about a few of them behind the scenes just with friends. So some very talented drivers, and this is the whole group that is going to be going at it, and wow, some very attractive women too. So it's not like oh, look, she's just some racer girl. And nope, some very attractive looking women and some very good resumes. When you really look through the list, if you go through and you follow racing, there are some big names in here, women who've really like won championships or really turned heads, and I mean that with their racing abilities. They have some Twitter pages, a Twitter page as well, is where we found the group shot. But in addition to that, you can see some of the events. They're doing some coaching here in some Porsches. There's some shots of the track, some more shots of the girls, some physical training, driving, and oh, that's a skid car. I know skid cars very well. We used to use those at Russell Racing when I used to work up there. Wet driving, dry driving, putting them through the ringers, putting them through the paces, doing physical challenges, like I said. I know they also, and I'm scrolling still because they did some simulator work as well. Forgive my fast scroll here. There's, that's the car. That looks like the sim. Here we go. So this is at a trade show, bird's eye view. And here's some simulators and all the W Series girls, ladies, women, sorry, I'm not trying to make it sound bad, doing some sim racing. Look at that, that's cool, right there. Here we go, even a little video if it'll play on your end. It doesn't play on mine because I have some blocker going. But I just thought that was really cool. Sorry to blow out your ears there with my butt. But I think it's very cool that this is going on, and I'm really excited. Something we'll probably cover from time to time. We'll have to find out if any of these contestants actually do any sim racing as well, and maybe get them on the show and talk to them about it. So anyway, that is going to do it for today's show. Last thing I do want to do is just a warning, or let the patron group know. I'm going to send out some email about anybody interested in running the Daytona 500 on iRacing with us. We're going to kick things off and get things going for the Simpit Ricmotech endurance team and our big quest at Sebring coming up in March. We're going to get that going, and you're going to get some emails. So just warning for everybody on Patreon, some things going on, including we're going to probably get another Wreckfest event going and all kinds of good stuff. And then lastly, if you're watching the show, I don't do this often, but please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to share, maybe share the show on your Facebook or Twitter page. Let people know about us, help us grow. I'd be very grateful to you for doing such a thing. And beyond that, just get out there, do some racing. Let me know what you're doing out there. Let me know what kind of racing's going on and what's fun and what we should be covering here at the Pit Stop. But once again, thank you for being here. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.